Hey y'all, Maka Ray Lynn Carter here, 38 years old, born and raised in Laurel Creek, Georgia, where the kudzu grows faster than the gossip. 20 years ago, I was voted most likely to succeed. Tonight, at our 20-year high school reunion, I walked in voted most likely to snap. And that's exactly what my ex, Jessica Lynn Duvall, spent the last decade making sure everyone believed. Let's rewind. Jessica and I dated senior year. Head cheerleader and star quarterback's little sister meets quiet honor roll girl who just wanted to get into Emory and get out of this town. We were that couple, hand-holding in the hallways, matching prom crowns, the whole fairy tale. Then, graduation happened. I got the full ride to Emory. Jessica did not. Suddenly, I was too good for Laurel Creek. Suddenly, I was changed. Suddenly, every fight we had was proof I was unstable, manipulative, crazy. By the time I left for Atlanta, she'd already started the Whisper campaign. First, it was little things. Texts to our old friends, "Mike is having a breakdown, y'all, pray for her." Posts on the town Facebook group, "Some people can't handle success without losing their mind." Then it got darker. She told my mama I was cutting myself. Never happened. Told my little brother I was doing hard drugs in the dorms. Never touched anything stronger than sweet tea. Told my high school sweetheart, who reached out senior year at college, that I'd been institutionalized freshman year. I came home for Christmas break 2008, and people crossed the street to avoid me. My own cousin asked if I was safe to be around the kids. That's when I started therapy. First, once a month, then twice, then every week for 10 straight years. Because the rumors weren't just words anymore, they were strangling me. Fast forward to 2024. I'm a licensed therapist myself now, irony's a bitch, with a private practice in Buckhead, a calm life, and zero contact with anyone from Laurel Creek, except my immediate family. Then the reunion invite showed up, and attached was the Facebook event page where Jessica, now married to the former quarterback, living in my dream house on Maple Lane, had posted, "Can't wait to see everyone. Just hope certain people are stable enough to attend. Wink." 400 likes. 300 laughing emojis. Something in me snapped. Not the way she wanted. The way a woman does when she's finally done swallowing poison. I printed every single therapy note from 2008 to 2024. Every intake form that asked reason for visit, and I wrote coping with targeted reputational abuse. Every progress note that mentioned client reports ongoing defamation from former partner. Every diagnosis that said adjustment disorder with anxiety, fully resolved, and no evidence of psychosis, bipolar, or personality disorder ever. 10 years, 4 therapists, over 400 sessions. I put them all in chronological order, color-coded tabs, in a rolling suitcase like I was going to the damn airport. And I bought a ticket to the reunion. The country club ballroom was decorated exactly like prom. String lights, balloon arches, class of 2005 banners everywhere. I walked in wearing the same red dress I wore to senior prom, the one Jessica said made me look desperate for attention. Heads turned. Whispers started before I even crossed the threshold. Jessica was holding court by the bar, blonde and Botoxed and laughing too loud, surrounded by the same mean girl squad that helped spread her lies. She saw me. Her smile froze. I smiled back, rolled my suitcase right up to the DJ booth, and tapped the microphone. Good evening, Laurel Creek class of 2005. Most of y'all haven't seen me in 20 years, and you've heard some stories. Tonight, I brought receipts. The room went dead silent. I unzipped the suitcase. Jessica Lynn Duval told y'all I was crazy? Tonight, I'm going to read you every single therapy note that proves who the real sick one was. Jessica went white, as her spray tan would allow. She started toward me, hissing, "Micah, don't you dare!" I held up the first page, dated December 23, 2008. Client reports former partner has initiated a campaign of false rumors stating client is mentally unstable and a danger to herself and others. Client presents as grounded, tearful but coherent. No evidence of delusional thinking. Assessment: situational distress caused by targeted reputational harm. I looked straight at her. That's page 1, Jess. I have 412 more. The room erupted, and I was just getting started. Turn to part 2 right now, because what happened when I got to the pages from 2018 will make your jaw hit the floor.
The first page hit the floor like a gunshot. Jessica lunged for the microphone, screaming, "This is private medical information. She's violating HIPAA." I didn't even flinch. Sweetheart, I'm the patient. I can read my own records all day long. HIPAA doesn't gag the person whose name is on the file. The DJ, bless his heart, Tommy Bradshaw, who used to sell weed behind the gym, cut the music completely and handed me the wireless mic like I was Taylor Swift about to drop a surprise album. I rolled that suitcase to the center of the dance floor, under the disco ball, and turned it into a podium. Let's fast forward a few years, shall we? I pulled out a thick purple folder labeled 2011 to 2013. Page 87, March 12, 2012. Client reports ex-partner contacted new boyfriend and told him client had been diagnosed bipolar and was off her meds. Client provided documentation. Psychiatric evaluation from Emory Student Health. Diagnosis: no mental illness, just a broken heart from a lying ex. I held the paper high so the projector picked it up on the big screen behind me. Gasps. Phones came out. People started live streaming. Jessica's husband, Brad, the quarterback, who never knew the full story, was staring at his wife like he'd never seen her before. I wasn't done. Page 134, October 2013, client's mother called in crisis. Ex-partner told family client attempted suicide in college. Truth, client was home for fall break perfectly fine. Mother required sedation. Therapist note, this is textbook gaslighting and reputational terrorism. I looked right at Miss Karen in the back row. Miss Karen's face went the color of ash. She knew exactly what her daughter had done. Jessica tried to bolt. 2 former linebackers, now sheriff's deputies, blocked the doors. Not because I asked, because they wanted to hear the rest. Want to hear the best one, Jess? The one from 2018 that made my therapist cry in session? I pulled out the red folder. 2018, the year she almost won. Page 312, June 4th, 2018. Client reports ex-partner created fake Instagram account pretending to be client's former therapist. Account posted, "Micah Carter is my former patient. She is schizophrenic and off her medication. Please be careful." Over 3,000 shares before Instagram took it down. Client lost 2 job offers. Client contemplated suicide for the first time in 10 years of therapy. I let that hang in the air. You could hear people crying. Jessica was shaking her head, mouthing, "No, no, no," like a broken doll. That fake account, Jess? IP address traced to your home Wi-Fi. I have the subpoenaed records right here.
I held up the sealed envelope from the GBI. Brad, her husband, stepped forward, eyes wide. "Jess, is that true?" She couldn't speak. I smiled for the first time all night. "Oh, honey, we're not even to the good part yet. Because after that fake account, I stopped being nice. I hired the best cyber forensics team in Atlanta. I subpoenaed 10 years of your messages, your burner accounts, your Venmo payments to trolls who spread the lies for you." I opened the black folder, 2020 to 2024, The Reckoning. Over 400 screenshots. Every time you paid someone to call me crazy, every time you messaged my clients anonymously, every time you left fake Google reviews on my therapy practice saying I was unstable and should lose my license. Jessica made a sound like a dying animal. And the crown jewel. January 2023. You messaged my brand new fiancé, remember David? And told him I was still in love with you, that I was dangerous, that I had a history of stalking exes. I looked at David in the crowd. He flew in for this, standing tall in his dress blues. He held up his phone. "She's reading that right. I still have the screenshots, sent from the same number she used to text me happy birthday last year." Jessica collapsed into a chair, mascara running black rivers down her face. But I still had one more folder. "This last one, Jess, isn't for you. This one's for everyone who ever believed you." I pulled out the gold folder. 2024, Healing. Final progress note, October 1st, 2024. Client has achieved full remission of anxiety symptoms. Client reports, "I am no longer afraid of my own story." Therapist note, client is one of the most resilient humans I have ever treated. She turned a decade of abuse into a career helping others do the same. I closed the suitcase. So here's the truth, Laurel Creek class of 2005. I went to therapy for 10 years because one jealous girl couldn't handle watching me succeed without her. And tonight I brought proof that the only person who was ever crazy was the one trying to convince you I was. The room erupted in applause. Jessica was sobbing into Brad's chest, but he wasn't holding her. He was just staring at me like he was seeing a ghost. I leaned into the mic one last time. "But we're not done, Jess. Turn to part 3, because what I did with those GBI records and that fake Instagram account, the judge signed the paperwork yesterday."
The applause hadn't even died down when Sheriff Tommy Lee, yes, the same Tommy who sold us weed behind the gym, walked in with 2 deputies. He didn't say a word at first. He just handed Jessica a folded blue piece of paper. A felony arrest warrant. The room went dead silent again. Jessica unfolded it with shaking hands. Her lips moved as she read the charges: criminal defamation, identity fraud, computer invasion of privacy, stalking in the first degree. 10 years counts as a pattern, y'all. She looked up at me like I'd grown horns. "You really did it. You pressed charges." I smiled the sweetest smile Georgia has ever seen. "No, Jess. I just stopped protecting you." See, after that fake Instagram account in 2018, I didn't just cry in therapy. I started documenting every screenshot, every threatening email from burner accounts that traced back to her IP, every time she created a new Facebook profile to message my clients, every Venmo payment to her little flying monkeys. I built a case so airtight, the GBI investigator called it the cleanest cyberstalking file I've seen in 20 years. And because Georgia finally passed a real revenge porn and cyberstalking law in 2022, every single thing she did after July 1st of that year became a felony. 10 years of obsession, 1 warrant. Tommy started reading her rights. Jessica screamed, "Brad, do something!" Brad just stood there, arms crossed, staring at the woman he'd been married to for 12 years like he didn't recognize her. He finally spoke, voice flat. "You told me Micah was crazy. You told me she made it all up. You cried in our bed for years about how scared you were of her." He looked at me. "I owe you an apology the size of the Chattahoochee." I nodded once. Jessica tried to run. A deputy caught her by the elbow. That's when the real chaos started. Her mother, Miss Karen, former Sunday school teacher and current president of the Laurel Creek Garden Club, came charging down the aisle like a linebacker. "You can't arrest my baby! This is a misunderstanding!" "Miss Karen, your baby impersonated a licensed therapist, caused me to nearly lose my professional license, and drove me to suicidal ideation. There's no misunderstanding. There's just consequences." Karen slapped me. Hard. Right across the face. The room gasped so loud it echoed off the chandelier. I didn't even flinch. "Deputy, you catch that on body cam?" Tommy nodded slowly. Karen's hand flew to her mouth. Assault on top of everything else. They cuffed Jessica right there under the disco ball, still wearing her reunion queen sash from the vote she rigged. As they walked her out, she screamed over her shoulder, "This isn't over, Micah. You'll always be crazy." I leaned into the microphone one last time. "No, Jess, I was never crazy. I was just the girl you couldn't break." The doors closed behind her, and the entire class of 2005 turned to me and started clapping again. Slow at first, then thunderous. Someone started chanting my name. Someone else yelled, "Speech!" I looked at David, my fiancé, my rock, who was grinning like a man who just watched justice get served medium rare. He mouthed, "Tell them the rest." "Oh, y'all thought that was the finale?" I rolled the suitcase back open, because I saved the best folder for last, the one labeled 2025 Damages. I pulled out a thick manila envelope sealed with the logo of the top defamation attorney in Atlanta. Inside, a civil suit for $2.4 million. Compensatory, punitive, emotional distress, lost wages, defamation per se. Every dollar I could prove she cost me over 10 years. And because she's about to be a convicted felon with no job, no assets, and a husband who's already talking to a divorce lawyer, she'll be paying me for the rest of her life. But I'm not done. Turn to part 4 right now, because what happened when her arrest hit the local news at 11 p.m. is the reason half this town showed up at my mama's house the next morning with casseroles and apologies 20 years too late.
By 6 a.m. the next morning, the Laurel Creek Facebook group looked like the Book of Revelation had dropped. The arrest video, filmed by no fewer than 37 former classmates, was already at 3.2 million views on TikTok with the caption, "20-year reunion ends with cheerleader in handcuffs after calling ex crazy for a decade." Local news ran it as the top story. Prom queen arrested at reunion after decade-long smear campaign. My phone wouldn't stop. Texts from numbers I hadn't seen since flip phones. "Micah, I am so sorry I believed her. I deleted every post I ever shared. Please forgive me. My daughter saw the video and asked why adults are mean. I didn't have an answer." Then the doorbell started. First came Mrs. Dolores, my old AP English teacher, holding a pound cake and tears. Then the entire First Baptist choir with fried chicken and banana pudding. By noon, Mama's porch looked like a church potluck after a funeral, except this time the corpse was Jessica's reputation. Mama just kept refilling sweet tea and saying, "Told y'all my baby wasn't crazy. Took 20 years and a felony warrant, but here we are." At 2:17 p.m., Brad Duvall,
yes, the quarterback, showed up alone in his F-250, still wearing the same tuxedo shirt from the night before, looking like he hadn't slept since 2005. He stood on the bottom step, hat in hand. "Can I talk to you a minute, Micah Ray?" Mama tried to run him off with a fly swatter. I told her it was okay. We walked out to the pecan tree where we used to carve our initials in middle school. Brad couldn't even look me in the eye at first. I married a stranger, 12 years, 2 kids, and I never knew what she was doing to you. He finally met my gaze. "I'm filing for divorce Monday morning. Full custody. House is in my name only. She's getting nothing." He pulled an envelope from his pocket. Inside, a cashier's check for $50,000. That's every dime we had in the joint savings. It's yours. Call it a down payment on the hell she put you through. I stared at the check. Then I tore it in half. "I don't want your guilt money, Brad. I want you to do one thing for me." He nodded, like a man ready to take a bullet. "Raise your boys to never, ever let a woman be treated the way Jessica treated me. That's the only payment I'll ever accept." He started crying right there under the pecan tree. Big, ugly quarterback tears. I hugged him. First time I'd touched a Duval in 20 years. Sometimes healing looks like that. But the real chaos hit at 4 p.m. when the Georgia Board of Pardons and Paroles called. See, Jessica made bond at noon, $25,000. Her daddy put up the lake house. She went straight to the county jail parking lot and did an interview with Channel 2 Action News claiming I was the real stalker, that I set her up, that the whole reunion was a planned ambush by a mentally ill woman. The reporter ate it up. They ran the headline, "Accused woman claims innocence, says reunion was a setup." Big mistake. Because I still had one card left. I called my lawyer. By 6 p.m., we held a press conference on the courthouse steps. Me, my attorney, the GBI investigator, and 30 witnesses from the reunion who'd already signed sworn affidavits. We played the body cam footage of Karen slapping me. We released the full IP logs. We showed the Venmo receipts. And then I dropped the nuclear option. Jessica claims she's the victim, so let's talk about what happened the day after senior prom 2005. I held up a police report dated May 22, 2005. Jessica Duval, age 18, filed a false police report claiming I keyed her new brand Mustang the night of prom. Insurance paid her $4,200. My daddy still had the security footage from the country club parking lot that proved I never left the building. I looked straight into the cameras. She has been lying about me since we were teenagers. Last night was just the first time she got caught. The Channel 2 reporter went pale. By 8 p.m., they pulled the interview and issued an on-air retraction. Jessica's bond was revoked for violating conditions, no media contact. She was back in jail by 10 p.m., and that's when the town fully turned. The Laurel Creek Facebook group changed its profile picture to a photo of me holding the microphone under the disco ball. The banner now reads, "We stand with Micah Ray Lynn Carter." 12,847 members and growing. Jessica's daddy closed the hardware store for renovations. Her mother deleted Facebook. And her little sister, who was 10 when this started, sent me a private message that just said, "I always knew. I'm so sorry." But the best part, the very best part, Jessica's public defender called me this morning. They want to talk plea deal, and I haven't even shown them the final folder yet. Turn to part 5 right now, because what's in that folder is the reason Jessica is about to lose everything she has left, including the one thing she values more than her freedom. Monday morning, 9 a.m. sharp, the county courthouse conference room. Jessica sat across the table in an orange jumpsuit,
2 sizes too big, hair in a messy knot, no makeup, cuffs around her wrists. For the first time in 20 years, she looked small. Her public defender, a tired man named Mr. Whitaker, slid a plea offer across the table. 24 months, serve 9 with good behavior, 10 years probation, no contact order with me for life, $18,000 restitution. Felony record. He looked at me like a man begging for mercy. Micah, this is generous. She'll take it today if you sign. I smiled and opened the final folder, the one I'd kept hidden in a safe deposit box for 6 years. It was thin, only 12 pages, but those 12 pages were about to end her. Before I decide anything, Jessica needs to hear what's in this folder. Out loud. Mr. Whitaker tried to stop me. I raised an eyebrow. He sat back down. I turned to page 1. Email chain, dated February 14th, 2019. From Jessica Duval, 1987, @gmail.com. To Laurel Creek Gossip Queen @protonmail.com. Subject, Micah Carter abortion rumor, round 2. Hey girl, can you post that Micah had an abortion in college and that's why she's so messed up now? I'll Venmo you $200 again. Make sure it looks like it came from her old roommate. I looked up. Jessica's face drained of what little color she had left. Page 2. March 2021. Same account to a different burner. Tell everyone Micah is faking her therapy practice. Say she buys fake reviews and sleeps with clients. $300 this time. Page 3. December 2023. Jessica messaging my actual therapist, Dr. Ramirez, from a fake number. This is Micah Carter's mother. She's off her meds again and threatening to hurt herself. Please call me. I slid the phone records across the table. Dr. Ramirez is prepared to testify that call never happened because I was in her office at that exact time, perfectly fine. Jessica started shaking. But my favorite, Jess, page 9. August 2022. You emailed the Georgia Composite Board of Professional Counselors an anonymous complaint claiming I was practicing while impaired, attached forged prescriptions with my name on them. I held up the lab report. Those prescriptions were written on a stolen pad from your daddy's hardware store. Your fingerprints are on the carbon copy we recovered from the trash. Mr. Whitaker looked like he was going to be sick. Jessica finally spoke, voice cracking. How did you get all this? Because you're not as smart as you think you are, sweetheart. Every email, every Venmo, every fake account, you used the same password pattern. Your birthday plus Chiro5. My forensic guy had your entire digital life in 6 hours. I closed the folder. So here's my counteroffer. No plea. We go to trial. I subpoena every single person you paid, every account you created, every message you sent. And when the jury hears 20 years of deliberate, calculated destruction of another human being, you won't see daylight until you're 60. Jessica started sobbing uncontrollably. Mr. Whitaker whispered, "What do you want?" Full confession on camera. Public apology posted to every platform you ever used to hurt me. $500,000 civil settlement, payable over 20 years. Permanent no contact order. And one more thing. I leaned forward. You will sit in that jail cell for the full 24 months. No early release, because some debts aren't paid in money. Jessica's head dropped to the table. She nodded. By 3 p.m. that same day, the video was live. Jessica, in her jumpsuit, reading a prepared statement in the visitation room. I, Jessica Lynn Duvall, spent 20 years lying about Micah Raylan Carter. I spread false rumors that she was mentally ill, dangerous, and unstable. I created fake accounts, paid people to harass her, and tried to destroy her career and life. Everything I said was a lie. Micah never had a mental breakdown. She never hurt herself or anyone else. She is the strongest, kindest person I have ever known, and I am deeply, unforgivably sorry. The video ended with her crying. It hit 27 million views in 48 hours. The Laurel Creek Facebook group made it the pinned post. And then something beautiful happened. Women started posting their own stories. I believed the rumors about my sister-in-law. I was wrong. My ex told everyone I was crazy too. Thank you for showing me I'm not alone. I'm leaving my abusive husband today because you proved we can win. The comments became a flood of healing. My therapy practice inbox filled with new clients, women who finally felt safe to speak. And Jessica? She took the plea after all. 24 months, no parole, starts next week. Her parents sold the lake house to pay my lawyer. Brad got the kids and the dog. And me? I'm back in Atlanta, but every Sunday I drive home to Laurel Creek now. Because the town finally sees me. Really sees me. But we're not quite finished. Turn to part 6 right now, because what I did with that $500,000 settlement and the one last surprise waiting for Jessica on her release day in 2027, it's the cherry on top of 20 years of karma.
2 years later, August 2027, Jessica Lynn Duvall walked out of Pulaski State Prison wearing state-issued jeans and a gray t-shirt, carrying a clear plastic bag with everything she owned in the world. No one was there to pick her up. Her parents had moved to Florida and changed their number. Brad remarried, sweet girl from Macon who coaches the kids' soccer team. Even her old cheer squad ghosted her the day she took the plea. She stood on the curb looking lost until a white passenger van pulled up. The side was wrapped in huge purple letters that said, Micah's Place, second chances start here. The door slid open. I was driving. Hey, stranger, need a ride? Jessica froze. I hopped out, walked around, and opened the passenger door like a chauffeur. Get in, Duvall. We've got places to be. She got in without a word. We drove in silence for 10 minutes until she finally whispered, Where are you taking me? Home, Jess. I'm taking you home. She started crying again, but this time it wasn't fear. Because the home I took her to wasn't the lake house she lost. It was Micah's Place, a brand new 22-bed residential program for women leaving prison, abusive relationships, or both. Built on 20 acres my daddy left me when he passed in 2026. Paid for with every dime of that $500,000 settlement, plus another $1 million in donations that poured in after her confession video. The main house is butter yellow with wraparound porches, wildflowers everywhere, and a giant sign out front that says, You are safe, you are enough, you get to start again. Inside, 21 women and their kids were waiting with a welcome banner and a chocolate sheet cake that read, Welcome home, Jessica, resident number 022. She walked in and every single woman stood up and clapped. Not mocking, not petty, just pure welcome, because every one of them had been called crazy once too. I gave her the corner room with the best view of the pecan trees, gave her a job as assistant house manager, pays $55,000 a year plus free housing, gave her mandatory therapy twice a week. With me. Because forgiveness isn't forgetting, it's deciding the story ends better than it started. And Jessica? She's been clean, sober, and on time for 730 straight days. She teaches the new residents how to rebuild credit, how to spot a liar, how to apologize when you've done real damage. She still cries sometimes when she thinks nobody's looking. But now, she cries because she's grateful. So here we are, class of 2005, 20 years later. The girl everyone thought was crazy built a sanctuary for women the world tried to break. The girl who tried to destroy me now helps run it. And every single night when we lock the doors, I walk the porch and look up at the same Georgia stars that watched me suffer for a decade, and I whisper the same thing. We made it. All of us. Okay, y'all, that's the whole wild, messy, beautiful ride. From the reunion microphone to the prison pickup, from the arrest warrant to the welcome home cake, this story is living proof that sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction, it's becoming the safe place you once needed. Now I need you in these comments. Drop your own "they called me crazy" story. Tell me the moment you finally got your receipts moment. Tell me the wildest reunion revenge you've ever seen or done. And while you're down there, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell, because next week, we're diving into another nuclear karma story, and I'm letting you pick the topic. Just comment the title or idea with the most likes, and we're making it next. This channel is our front porch support group, and every single one of you belongs here. So type it, share it, heal it, own it. I love y'all bigger than Georgia sky. See you in the next one.